Hey viewers, if you would like to get too soon trending news videos, please subscribe to our channel, Daily Bulletin News, and stay with us. On Days of Our Lives today, while Xander is given sage advice, Holly receives a reality check, Nicole and EJ attempt to find closure, and Sarah has an epiphany. Victoria is brought to Sarah in the hospital by Xander. Although he is aware that he will miss her for the next 2 days, he is excited to see her mother at the next handoff. They give each other a silly smile. A sultry Sarah queries what his secret is when he mentions that Victoria slept through the entire night. A sheepishly confessed lullaby from Scotland to her. It's an appeal to the angels to keep her safe from malicious fairies who might try to abduct her. Sarah jokes that she'll have to pick it up. They lose themselves in each other's gaze as they talk about how Victoria looks more and more. Sarah gives him a quick squeeze before hurriedly leaving. John stops by Marlena's busy office and tells her that she needs to look after herself. Marlena is aware that her patients have difficulty during this time of year. John gets her a desk-mounted framed picture of Jude. She's overjoyed for Eric and, well, Sloane. Concerned for Nicole, she brings up the DNA test. She hopes to receive the necessary assistance. John leaves for coffee as Sarah bursts into Marlena's office. Although Xander gives Sarah's stomach the triple backflips, Marlena and Sarah get along so well as friends and co-parents. Perhaps she ought to maintain the status quo. If that's what she wants to do, Marlena asks. It isn't because of their extensive past together. Sarah believes Xander has the same thoughts. Marlena advises her to make every effort to appreciate her daughter and live in the present. It moves by so quickly. John is in the lobby, pouring coffee and looking at Xander gravely. Xander had high hopes that John, who is the romantic legend of the couple Marlena and John, would offer him some advice, particularly considering that he has experienced his own transgression. John says, "I think you're an ass," with a harsh tone. And an error, however, John also thinks that people can change and grow because he did. John advises him to change for the better, that is, to act in his child's best interests. Xander asks to walk Sarah and Victoria home when she gets back to the lobby. That would be nice for Sarah. Xander and Sarah laugh heartily in the square as Victoria yells at Santa. Sarah remembers Mickey acting in a similar manner. They ought to have learned from the past, she jokes. Xander says perhaps they have, quite earnestly. Perhaps we have, she says again. When they find a Christmas present for their daughter that they would both like to get, they decide to present it to her jointly. Sarah says it can be placed in her room as a family memento. John teases Marlena with some surprises when he gets back. Whispering, "You're my everything, Doc," he gives them a hug. She says the same thing. She exclaims, "We are so fortunate." Johnny and Holly return to the Demura mansion after their fencing match. She gives him a playful tap on the butt with her foil while maintaining a dreamy gaze. Johnny pours some scotch into his water and gets them some too. He laughs when Holly asks for some too. Perhaps in roughly 5 years. Tate texts Holly to tell her about their upcoming date. After she cancels, she asks Johnny if he wants to place an order for takeout. Johnny is going to the bistro for dinner with Channel. He walks off abruptly to change, and Holly texts Tate back. Paulina worries at home that Channel and Johnny are becoming too serious too quickly. She is reassured by Channel that they have been truthful about the past and that they have something worthwhile to fight for. Channel exclaims with excitement that she will invite Johnny as well when a weary Paulina mentions that she invited Abe to Christmas. In addition, the twins, Eli and Lainey, are returning home. Paulina informs her with regret that paperwork backlogs have caused a delay in Lainey's release. Paulina sobs as Channel gives her comfort. Channel begs Paulina to let her spend the evening with Johnny even though she doesn't want to be left alone tonight. She's going to bed immediately anyhow. Paulina winces and rubs her chest as Channel grudgingly goes to change. Nicole tells EJ She feels like she's emerging from the shadows as she eats chocolate cake at the bistro. Gazing at the restaurant's festive decor, she questions whether purchasing a tree would have been appropriate. EJ surprises Nicole with a decorated Christmas tree and additional ornaments as they head back home. While the staff was away, he surreptitiously texted them. As Holly and Johnny join them, she thanks him. Nicole says how appreciative she is that the family is still together. Before the kids leave for their individual plans, Johnny shows them a package that was delivered by hand. As EJ picks it up, he becomes serious. It originates from the mortuary. Nicole tears up as she pulls out a wooden box. Those are our baby's ashes. Every time Nicole feels like she's getting better, something happens to her. EJ speculates that this is how God is providing them a sense of closure. He recommends holding a family service in the mausoleum of Demera. Nicole wants to spread his ashes nearby and for it to be just the two of them. Nicole asks EJ to get her a scarf as they walk to a tree outside the front door. After he leaves, Nicole is free to pray in private to God for the strength to recover. She implores God to watch over her beloved son until, with God's grace, they are reunited. Nicole, wiping the box, murmurs, "I will see you again, my angel, as well as your sister and brother. You will always be here, in my heart, until then." EJ comes back and ties a scarf around Nicole's neck. As he takes the ash bag out of the box, she breaks down in tears. He spreads Nicole's hand around the tree while holding onto it. While they are meeting in the square, Holly learns about Tate's gold card from Brady. They can take a limo to Chicago or hop on a plane to somewhere. Anything she desires. Holly tells Tate she can't leave her mother as she observes Johnny and Channel making their way to the bistro. What about the bistro for dinner? Tate leads her away with a smile, even though the plan isn't particularly exciting. Tate looks down as he realizes that Johnny and Channel are inside the bistro. When Channel sees the teenagers, she frowns. Since Holly knew they were going to be there, Johnny assumed she would have mentioned her plans. Channel is convinced that Holly has a crush on him because of this. Johnny believes Channel is overanalyzing the situation. Her eyes roll. Johnny asks about her day because he wants to concentrate on them. Channel informs him of Paulina's frustration over Lainey's absence from home. Johnny proposes to ask his father to exert some influence. He is glad to assist his ex-mom-in-law, since you never know when you might need the support of your former. Channel smiles.